by his desire to protect his loved ones. In my opinion, he isn't entirely reactive, and being a reactive character is not really a bad thing. It is more about the way that the events of the story are presented.
Okay, can I just say, while looking at that Twitter thing, I didn't hear a word he said. I also didn't, but I did just catch him going, being reactionary isn't a bad thing, but Ichigo ain't anyway. So even if he was, it's not a bad thing. So if you think he is, it's not a bad thing, but he's not though. But it's not a bad thing to be though. You're just covering all your bases.
And being a reactive character is not really a bad thing. It is more about the way that the events of the story are presented to the character which determines their subsequent actions. For example, initially Ichigo is reacting to Rukia appearing in his life and giving her powers to him. Later, he actively decides to protect the weak and help her.
I couldn't hear what he said.
I just heard actively. In his life and giving her powers to him. Later, he actively decides to protect the weak and helpless through his...
That's still reactionary.
Yeah.
He's not like, hey, where are these hollows coming from? Let's stop them. He's going, oh, there's a hollow here? Protect. Let me go protect.
The acquired powers. He actively decides to defeat Aizen despite his reaction.
No, oh my goodness! That's just false, dude.
He actively decides to defeat Aizen? Okay, what happens if he doesn't actively decide? Aizen rules the world. Somebody has to. So he does.
Nope. Still wrong. Because he never wanted to defeat Aizen until near the end when the town was about to get exploded.
I think that's what he's talking about.
No, but what I'm saying is his goal was to protect Orihime. That's why he went to Hueco Mundo. He never wanted to defeat Aizen.
He did here.
He just needed.
It's a means to an end.
No, he's reacting to the town exploding.
But then Aizen is the cause of that.
Yeah.
And in order to prevent that from further happening, you have to defeat Aizen.
Yeah. So it's a reaction to what Aizen is doing.
But at the end of the day, the goal is defeat Aizen so other bad things don't happen.
But he wasn't actively going after Aizen.
I don't care about actively or unactively or whatever.
My whole argument.
I'm sick of it. Hey! Everybody shut up!
My whole argument is about him saying he actively went after Aizen.
But that's not the point. He did. At the end of the day, this is what happened. Active, unactive, whatever. Everybody just shut up. I'm sick of this. Stop saying actively. We got it, dude. And it ain't what happened.
Also, this is a bad ratio.
This is a terrible ratio. Homeboy put me to sleep. He ain't got no kind of decibel in his voice. It's all just freaking 0.1. Oh, fly buzz. Let me lower that a little bit. Get this trash out of here.
What was that peak? Oh, some cotton fell on the ground.
He actively decides to defeat Aizen despite his reactionary response being that of anxiousness and doubt. You see how he...
Despite his reactionary being that of...
Yeah, he's just adding words just to make his point. This is terrible. And people are just gonna be like, yeah, because he said enough words to just muddle his point. He's saying nothing here.
Being that of anxiousness and doubt. You see how he wavers in his resolve when Aizen leaves for the real Karakura town, and his dad has to snap sense into him. He actively takes up training in order to defeat Aizen, a decision that he makes, and does so through
No, it was a reaction to them not being good enough to beat him. He goes, wait, Ichigo, we can't wait. I have to hurry up and defeat Aizen. Well, you can't right now. We could train for like a year in here.
Luckily. But we're not going to mention that, because we need to just analyze the good parts.
Coming his reactionary feelings of fear and doubt. Now, moving on to the second issue that Wolf has, which is weak world building in the Soul Society. It is important to first clarify if world building is actually a key element required to make a great story. Common criticisms.
Pause. No, it's not, but it definitely helps. Mm-hmm. We don't know anything about the Soul Society, really. Why is there just a bunch of... I said this in the old podcast. Imagine me just dying and then waking up in feudal Japan. It's like, wait, what the is going on? I guess I was wrong throughout my whole life.
That don't make
whatever
why,
God I cared about. That's
is it
over.
all just feudal Japan? That doesn't make any sense. And if there are different places, we haven't seen them. So if we're just mentioning like, oh, this is just the South branch of the Soul Society or whatever, we're not seeing the other 3 parts of it. So that's bad world building by just saying that it exists and doing nothing with it.
What is the economy of Soul Society? Because there are definitely people like, oh, we're struggling to eat.
Rukia and Renji were stealing stuff as kids. So there must be some sort of commerce, bartering system, something. There are trades because one-armed chick is a firework maker.
So what is, and you know, there are, we see a bunch of broke people in Soul Society. I don't think we've seen rich people in Soul Society, really. Like, where's the rich town?
So this is the world building that we're talking about. You go to in Whole Cake Island and we see them making gumdrop buildings and crap. Luffy and Chopper go eating all the buildings and like, yo, that ain't cool. You're not supposed to do that. We don't do that here. And then Puddin comes up and goes, yeah, no, they're supposed to be doing that. So there are people that demolish buildings by either eating them or just demolishing them. We know this now. We know this world instead of just like, oh, this is just a cookie town.
Fiction always rely on the same predictable one-liners. Like, world building is the only essential element to a great story.
It's not. No, it's not, but it definitely helps.
And I don't, who's saying it's the only essential thing?
Yeah.
Because if you got fantastic world building but horrendous characters, I don't care how realized your world is. I don't care about the characters. It's all part of a story. The parts are greater than the sum.
Yeah, it's pieces. And there are people that are just gonna be like, yeah, world building is everything. Just like characters are everything. So if you're focusing on that, then yeah, you're gonna hear that. But for the most part, you're just gonna hear, oh, it helps. It builds upon how good the series is.
It's fantastic world building.
Yeah.
And because of the world building, it helps the story and blah, 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 blah.
Aspects like plot, characters, and themes, in my opinion, take precedence over world building.
No, themes do not take precedence over world building. Absolutely not. Screw you.
Have you considered themes?
I have.
Oh. Well, I'm glad you're on my side now. The theme side. Because there are no other sides.
Yeah, because themes,
it's whatever you want it to be. We've said this
a
billion times.
There are definitely things to draw out of a series theme wise, and it's fine if you want to go, yeah, there's this theme of blah blah blah, and moving on. But if your whole thing is like with the theme, because you went story, characters, and themes. Those are your big 3 to what makes a series good. I don't.
Yeah.
They take precedence over world building? No, sir. No, sir.
World building can be good or bad depending on the type of story that you are writing. When it comes to Bleach, I think that it is a far cry to say that the Soul Society has bad world building, especially if earlier in the video Wolf was praising the...
Rukia was a child and she grew up. Do people die as children and are able to grow up? Was she just a soul there? And
from the very beginning,
yeah, was she born there? But they can grow up, and Hisugaya has an older form, so he can get older. Captain Yami, he's an old man. Did he die an old man, or did he grow an old man? What is the aging like in the Soul Society arc? What happens when you reach a certain age? Do you die, or are you always just 100-year-old decrepit person until you're just like not moving at all? What if you can die? Are you reborn as a child and begin the cycle again? Wouldn't that overcrowd the entire Soul Society at a certain point?
Or maybe you are reincarnated.
Maybe
after death, you are reincarnated.
Okay. The Quincy's they destroy souls outright, but the Soul Reapers, they send them to the Soul Society. To what ends? For what purpose?
Soul Society.
Wait. We know there's a heck. Who decides what when people go to heck instead of the Soul Society? Is that like heaven? Is there a heaven, or is the Soul Society a middle ground, or is Soul Society the heaven, and then you got the heck that's just the heck?
I gotta assume Soul Society is the middle ground because there's poor people and people suffering. There's people going to sleep hungry.
So when they died, or is there like, oh, my ticket's up, I'm going to heaven now, or is there a time limit, or do you have to be judged at a certain point and then they pull a lever and you go up or down? Oh, maybe we should know these things other than just going, this is a soul place with a bunch of soul people. That's world building.
If earlier in the video, Wolf was praising the Soul Society arc, explaining the backstories of the different Shinigami, which take place...
Okay, that's those characters.
Yeah, backstory is not world building. Totally different things.
It can be.
You can learn more things about the world through the character's backstory, but you don't. Or you do it and just not enough.
Yeah, like the Kisuke turning back the pendulum or whatever, that whole bush over there, that's some world building, but it's also character building.
Yeah, but the fact that we have these questions years later is a problem.
Of the Soul Society. This is inherently expanding upon the world of the Soul Society. In addition to this, he also praises the Gotai 13, and the thing about the Gotai 13 divisions is that each of them has a specific purpose, like the Stealth Division or the Medical. This helps us to
Okay, what about the other 11?
Yeah.
That we've got an assassination, we've got medical, we've got something else.
I guess
we have a science division. And then what's the others?
They chilling. You got the wolf division. He's just a wolf man. He's chilling.
Kenpachi's division is just, hey, we want to be strong.
And what happens? Because there are people that take the place. I know the boxing guy took the place of one of the captains, the blind dude that died. Does he automatically just go, okay, now you're in, let's say, the science division, but I'm not good at science. Well, too bad. That's the spot that needed to be filled. These are questions. This is what world building does. Are we looking this up?
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what every one of the divisions do.
Dude, I'm sure they're just like he just chilling.
Gotai 13, Bleach. What would be the wording there?
Specialties. Maybe just look up one of them and see if they have. Okay, look up the doctor, and it will be like the science division, and then maybe the science division will lead you to all the divisions, and we can see.
Okay, hold on. Because I honestly believe that there's not really.
Yeah, I am also in that camp. You know what? Let me look at it. Two eyes, three eyes.
The Gotai 13 serves as a military force with its primary responsibilities consisting of these three things, which is task force and all that crap. First division, truth and innocence, seek nothing, despair, those who grieve and love, sacrifice, danger, pure love, noble reason, courage. Oh, those are just the signs. Fight, mystery. Yeah, those are just signs. There's nothing here about them all specializing in their own crap.
He can't be wrong here.
First division, no special duties have been noted for the first division.
Oh no! Well, we're not counting them. Okay. Not all of them need them.
The second division are directly tied to the Anmitsukido. No special duties.
Well, we're not counting them either.
Third division.
There are a bunch of them.
No special duties.
Yeah, but there's still other ones.
Fourth division, medical supply.
Okay, we got one.
Fifth division, highly skilled, trade, excels at everything, including battle readiness.
There you go. We're at 2.
Sixth division is one of the 13. No special.
Well,
seventh. This division is made up of satir. No specials. The 8th.
They have specialties.
No special duties.
Yes, they do.
The 9th. Investigation missions. So scouting parties and stuff. 10th. No special duties.
Well.
11th.
Clearly false. There's a bias editing in this Wikipedia article.
11th, skilled at fighting. That's the Kenpachi one.
Yep.
12th, linked to research and development. Right. So that's the science division. 13th, no special duties.
So we're at like, what, 5?
If even.
He's seeing what he wants to see.
Origami do more than just slaying hollows and sending souls to the Soul Society. There are a lot of internal politics that we are introduced to during the Soul Society.
Oh, we're introduced to these people and they are dead, and Aizen was the puppet master the whole time. This is the internal politics. We don't know these dudes. This is the first time we're seeing them, and they already dead. Were they replaced? Who were they replaced by?
Politics as a form of world building too. We see the different dynamics between characters and the clashing of ideals.
That's not world building.
Those are personality clashing, if anything else. These are our ideals, and they don't line up with yours because yours seems stupid. So, yeah.
Yep. If there was a line like, "Look, this place is already at peace. We don't need the attack division anymore. We need to focus on research and development." And then somebody goes, "Screw you. We need to focus on health and medical and blah blah blah." Wait. There's a health division, so something happens if they die.
Yeah, it's got to be.
They need to be healed.
Yeah, they've got to be. Okay. When Rukia was about to get executed, it was a special type that, like, rendered her whole existence non-existent. Mm-hmm. So there has to be a death that allows their existence to continue in some other plane. Which I would assume is just normal death.
But where do they go? And who governs that place?
Who watches the Watchmen?
Dude! We shouldn't be thinking about these things. This is just like that freaking DBZ where we just started breaking down the prince and all that crap. It's like, wait a second, this don't make a lick of sense. And you try to sit here and tell me that it does? That it's good? That this is world building? Sir!
Dude, this ratio is terrible.
This is probably one of the worst ratios we've ever had.
Central 46, who govern the law and order of the Soul Society, as well as the Gotai 13. In addition to all of this, very early on in the series, Urahara mentions that there is a western branch to the Soul Society, so we are aware that there is more than just one.
Do we ever see him?
Who decides who goes where?
Dude, so you mean to tell me that all the problems of Soul Society as a whole are all in this one area? Aizen, Yuhabak!
Are there other captains governing the other ones? And if not, why are they all centralized in the West Division? And if there are other captains, why ain't they helping?
Where is everybody?
These are problems. So are you telling me that all the 13 captains are always just in the West Division?
Where they need to be?
For the story to happen? This would need some credence if it was 5 of them there and just like, yeah, they coming back from the South. Soy Fawn's gonna be here in an hour. She's coming from the South Division.
Or if the Gotai 13 was like the complete so like they meet there.
They meet over at the West and
No, they meet in the Gotai 13, the area they are now. So there's a West, there's a North, there's a South, there's a East. The East has a lot of problems with war. Like, those are the people that die like serial killers. Mm-hmm. So they're like, okay, we need a strong person to watch that and blah, blah, blah. These are the people that die with horrible diseases and stuff. So we need the medical team. So we've got West, North, South, East. And when they meet up, they meet in that middle where they all are right now. So when these big things happen, they could go, well, such and such is coming from the North, so it's going to take them about 12 hours to get here. As opposed to all problems happening in this area.
Just saying that this is the West Division is not world building. This does nothing but create further problems.
Because we ain't seeing none of that, and we've got naught but problems now.
Now, it's different when you've got so much world building in something like One Piece, where it's just like, this is a north, south, east, west blue. We're never going to see any of the other three blues. And we never need to, because we've seen all this other stuff.
And we know that there are certain people that come from certain different blues.
Including Sanji. He comes from the north blue. So we don't need to necessarily see those blues. But you're just going, oh, there's a West Division, so that's world building because we know there's West Division.
That's absolutely trash.
Western branch to the Soul Society, so we are aware that there is more than just one Soul Society. The branch that we become familiar with during this arc is of course the Eastern branch, which supports souls from the eastern part of the world, hence why it resembles feudal Japan. So it isn't a place where...
So wait a second.
We don't even get to see a Western like civilization of the Soul Society.
And also, what happens to people that die in Berlin, in the East? That's technically part of the East. Are they also going to feudal Japan? Japan is a small part. What about people in China? In the East? Do they also go to Japan? Dude! You think this is good?
And what about people in like the North and South Pole? Is it like the east half of the South Pole goes to one place and the west half of the South Pole goes to another place?
What if you are Japanese and you're coming to America for like some work stay or something and you die? Do you go to the north part where you don't speak any of the language or anything?
Do you go to the West Division or do you go to the East Division? Is it where you're born? Is it where your ancestry is from? Is it where you die?
Okay, nope, that's a problem. What about mixed people?
Okay, so is it where you die?
What? Okay, I go to Japan just because I want to, and I die there.
Okay,
and I don't speak the language, so now I'm just stuck for eternity, not speaking any languages.
Chad is part Latino. Is he gonna go where his ancestors are in the West, or is he gonna, if he dies, he's gonna go to the East because that's where he primarily is?
This is good world building. We know that they exist. You see.
And what does the West look like? Is it just like American?
Yeah,
Are we talking Canadian? Are we talking...
Wait, why is it just Japan? Or is it just Japan?
And
where does Hueco Mundo fit into this?
And when they use different weaponry on the West as opposed to swords, because feudal Japan is very sword heavy. So is it just like a bunch of cowboys? So we got guns.
Goodness.
Yeah, so
Cowboy Bleach. You know what? I'm kind of hype about that. I wouldn't mind. Since it is feudal Japan,
it would be like the old times for the West, which would be like cowboys.
Cowboy Ghost?
And it would just be like gunfights as opposed to sword fights. Their Zanpakuto would be gun. And their Bankais would be things with guns. Is that how it goes?
We don't know. It's too good of world building.
And why
we just don't understand.
And why is feudal Japan not allowed to advance? Why is Soul Society not allowed to advance? Why do they go to the where they are now, the time period that Ichigo and all his friends are now, and they go, whoa, what is this delicacy and what is this amazingness?
Why are they not allowed to advance if there are people coming from the modern times into feudal Japan? You telling me there's not one Einstein that's like, yo, let's hook up some electricity here? They do have electricity. Mm-hmm. They've got TVs and stuff.
So is it just like governed that they need to be this way?
And why is it governed that they need to be in feudal Japan? Is it more peaceful? To what end do we need peace? If we've got 13 people... If we got a bunch of literal bums, no kind of fighting ability.
I mean bums.
And then we got 13 captains plus all of their vice captains plus everybody under them. We don't need. What do we need peace for? Let it be surface level, and then we're not thinking about this, because the second that we think about this, You dig one little hole, and then the whole big old chasm opens up.
And
you're
the
like,
thing
wait a second, it was just a hole.
We don't really think about this stuff because it's just a series, whatever.
It's not presented to us, but once it's presented to us, we have to sit there and just go, okay, since you're arguing this point, let's argue this point.
People from every culture and every era are crammed together as super types. It is a subtle mention that was mistranslated by Viz, but we can see the Japanese version of the manga mentions Rukia belongs to the eastern branch of the Soul Society. This was mentioned as early as chapter 50. This, in my opinion, demonstrates a well thought out and constructed world.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Well thought out and constructed. Okay, we have more over there. What happens over there? It's over there.
It's over there.
So that's the well thought. That's the constructed.
It exists.
It exists. So it's well thought out and constructed.
We're mentioning it.
Oh no, this is just the east side. Oh, we get to see the west?
No.
Nope, never.
No.
Okay, so what do they do on the west?
Are we ever going to talk about it? No.
Yeah, right now, and then like once more.
We ever going to see anybody from over there? No.
No, not really.
We sure are going to mention it once. But you have to read the Japanese in order to see it because the Viz translation is trash. And you have to know how to read Japanese in order to know this thing.
Story with multiple themes and very interesting characters.
No, he's right. He doesn't need to explain himself. It's just very rich themes and interesting characters. He doesn't have to explain himself.
It's a rich story.
Mm-hmm. Very rich.
With something themes engaging. Interesting characters.
Demonstrates a well thought out and constructed world that features a rich story with multiple themes and very interesting characters.
Oh no, just multiple themes. They also exist, you see. Doesn't matter how they're implemented, they exist.
All stories have many themes. Hey, them themes, they here.
This pizza has many ingredients. What are the ingredients? Oh, you
many!
got a shoe. You got ankle shavings. But they're here. They're many.
There's so many.
There's so many, you see. But are they good? Are they the things that I want? A lot.
Yeah, if you want to show.
If you want numbers, we got numbers.
Hey, this pizza features a rich tomato sauce, many ingredients, and a great
type of cheese.
The cheese was made with whole milk, so it was well thought out and constructed. Bruh, there's a literal shoe in my pizza. Yeah, but ingredient.
Yeah. That's an ingredient.
I'm sorry, did shoe just not become an ingredient all of a sudden? Why don't
there are other pizzas without shoes, but we're not going to talk about that.
Just appreciate the shoe you got.
We're mentioning the pizzas without shoes.
Look, you're too focused on the shoe. There's so many ingredients here. Look at all other ingredients.
Oh, this is trash.
As well as this, we are introduced to multiple different royal families that exist within the eastern branch of the Soul Society.
Why are they royalty? What have they done to become royalty?
Yeah,
how do they keep that status?
What is the hierarchy there? Like, what are the bum? What makes you a bum? Because Rukia gets adopted into a royal family, so she's technically a princess forever now. So if she just goes, "Hey, I'm adopting these 5 kids," when she's the queen of the royalty or whatever, we just got 5 royal kids now. And what special privileges does being royalty grant you? Oh man,
where was Rukia's family before this? Why was she an orphan?
Yeah, that's weird. Because I remember the character that Chad was trying to save, and then they were like, well, have you found your mom? Well, not yet, but we're still looking. Oh, I'm sure you'll find her someday. Where's she at?
The North Branch.
But they died in the same area. Where's Ichigo's mom? Where's Ichigo's mom? Hashtag, where's Ichigo's mom?
Okay. I think maybe being killed by a hollow, I think it does something where... I gotta look this up. Because that might be the worst thing in Bleach.
Yeah, so we're just looking up what happens when you kill by a hollow. Oh, what happens when a Soul Reaper dies? You can look up the hollow. I'm looking up when a Soul Reaper dies. Shinigami are still part of the cycle of reincarnation, so it is a reincarnation, unless taken by a Quincy. Their soul loses most of its spiritual power, becoming human in nature again, and goes to the world of the living. They get reincarnated as humans. So do they retain their memories? That would be so interesting if, like, a character from, like, 500 years ago got slighted and he just keeps dying and reincarnating. And then it's just like, okay, I've got enough power now. Let's take this bit over, y'all.
If a hollow eats a purified soul or a soul of a Soul Reaper, they reincarnate as a human. They reincarnate as a human. If a hollow eats a unpurified souls, those souls become part of the hollow and strengthens it. If a hollow eats a purified soul, like a Shinigami, for example, these souls just reincarnate like they do if they normally die.
What happens with a Quincy? Because she is a Quincy. And purified soul, are all Shinigamis purified souls? Then why are there bad ones? Or do their souls themselves just become pure? But can they become impure?
When a hollow is killed by a Shinigami, the hollow is not truly killed. The spirit is purified of its sins it committed as a hollow. So it becomes a purified soul.
So it does go back into Soul Society as a purified soul. Correct? And do they remember their times as a hollow? Because it's now back into the cycle of reincarnation.
And why are there people just there then? If we're reincarnating, why are people just chilling in Soul Society? Are they waiting to reincarnate? Is there a cooldown period between them? If so, why do they age? Okay, wait a second.
Yeah, we're just looking up a bunch of stuff now. I don't know if I'm going to cut this out because the ratio is already bad. Who cares? Oh, no, your hand just went up.
No.
Oh, Nat. If a Quincy is infected by a hollow, not only does their spiritual energy, but their soul itself is destroyed and they die. They cannot even undergo hollification like a Shinigami. This is why Quincy must survive. Okay, so if a Quincy is infected by a hollow, they die.
Souls without spiritual power do not age in the Soul Society. They also don't hunger, and there is no evidence that they are doing anything but waiting for their allotted time they must spend in the Soul Society to pass before they are reborn.
So it's just a life of not eating, not doing nothing. But it's
but
if they
shops. I remember them being shops.
Yeah,
Rukia
that's for
and Angie stole.
That's for people with spiritual energy.
Then why?
Yeah. So they have spiritual energy. That's why they need to steal and eat and stuff.
No, but why are... If you have spiritual energy, of course, wouldn't it stand to reason that they would recruit you? Or is it just like, is there a threshold for you have enough spiritual energy, so now we're going to recruit you into our division? Because there was a shop that was selling food, so there's got to be people that have the spiritual energy.
I assume, this is pure assumption, that it's like an age-based thing. Because there are no children in that. There's like teenagers, but there's no children.
Shinigamis can and do age. They can also give birth, die of old age, and basically do everything a human can. Except that their lifespan is usually measured in hundreds of years and not decades.
That's why I think it's an age-based thing.
So they just born, so they can birth children that need to be reincarnated? Or
wait,
that
when
also...
a Shinigami die, do they get reincarnated? Because the people of Soul Society do. But a Shinigami can't... They can age and die and stuff, but the people are just waiting for their time to get reincarnated. So can a Shinigami reincarnate? We're looking up a lot of information about Bleach we never needed to look up before.
Yeah.
But
either we don't get
that
answers,
we also
or
shouldn't.
The answers that we get are bad.
We shouldn't have to. They should have answered this themselves. We haven't hit play in a very long time.
It's a very poor ratio.
Bruh, the worst. Bleach, Shinigami die, reincarnation. All Shinigami plus reincarnate into the world of the living, normally unless certain special circumstances occur, like being eaten by a hollow, which causes them to simply not exist. And being eaten by... That's filler. So yeah, when a Shinigami dies, they reincarnate. So why are they so afraid to die? And could you die, kill yourself, and get back to your original position of spiritual energy?
Yeah, how do you... in what way do you come back into the Soul Society?
Are you who you are now? Or do you go back to where you were? And can a bum become a Shinigami? I guess not.
What's the qualifications of Shinigami?
I guess not, because they wouldn't have the spiritual powers. So Rukia had to give up her Shinigami powers to Ichigo. So I guess that would be what that would be like. You know, oh, I'm giving you my powers, bum. So now you too can become a Soul Reaper. Yeah, let's hit play. It's been a minute. Let's actually go back a little bit.
Characters. As well as this, we are introduced to multiple different royal families that exist within the eastern branch of the Soul Society. During this arc, we are introduced to the Shihoin and Kuchiki family. All of these things help to expand upon the world that is introduced to us during this arc. Super Apache Wolf then begins his discussion of the later arcs of Bleach, with a premise that the 3 points he mentioned he had issues with are the seeds to a problem that grows throughout the series, and in his opinion have dramatic effects on the later arc. Well, 2 of the issues I have addressed before moving on with the rest of the video, so from my perspective they cannot be seen as detrimental aspects to the future arcs. So Wolf...
Yes, they can.
Yeah, they can.
Absolutely. It world built before, so now it never needs to do it again.
Yeah, no, it did once, so that's fine.
But what about that Western branch? But it exists. It exists, so we're good, right?
World building.
It world built before, so now it never needs to do it again, and you can't talk about how bad the world building is because it did it for a second.
Same mistake here at the start of his Huecamundo portion by referring to it as hell. This is factually incorrect. We know through the different realms that exist within the Bleach universe that hell and Huecamundo are 2 different realms entirely.
See, that's a good point to bring up. Yeah. Factually, Eye Patch Wolf is incorrect. Stop with this whole, oh, it's opinion and he's presenting it as fact. No, that was a mistake. He's just wrong.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
And everybody can be wrong. Like, you're never gonna bat 100. Even with research, you're never gonna bat 100.
The way that I can describe this is in the context of the different realms we are told about within Buddhist beliefs, which Bleach's afterlife is inspired from. We know hell exists as it...
Because I'm not a Buddhist, so do I also must I also follow the Buddhist principle of afterlife? Because you said the Bleach follows Bleach Afterlife follows that, not any kind of branch or any West or East or nothing. You said that the Bleach does, so I guess I gotta read up before I die if I die in the Bleach universe.
Own realm. It is mentioned as early as chapter 12 of the series. In the Buddhist realms, hell exists, and it is similar to Bleach's hell, a place of agony, terror, and depression. And when it comes to Hueco Mundo, this realm is the most similar to the Buddhist realm of animals, a place where instincts, survival, and self-preservation rule. We can even see that several, if not all of the Espada are animal themed, like Grimjow is a jaguar, Neutra is a mantis, and Haribel is a shark. And through seeing the Arrancar,
Why would you bring this up? The Buddhist thing, the Buddhist heck is animal themed. And look, all of these people in Hueco Mundo are animal themed.
But it's not.
But it's not heck. Why would you bring this up? It's silly.
the struggles of the Espada through their backstories, we know that some of them fought for survival and some fought for self-preservation. And what is the aspect that leads the Arrancar to fight though? For anyone familiar with my Bleach analysis, we know that the world of Hueco Mundo is driven by instinct. Hollow Ichigo even yells this to
So is it hell or not?
Why can't they just travel over to the Soul Society? Can they not go to that other realm? How did they end up in Hueco Mundo?
Why did they hit east instead of west? Because west ain't doing nothing.
They could have taken over both freaking west, north, and south before going over to the east.
That's why something like Black Clover is like, oh, they're slowly moving and taking over territories. Like we see the territories they're taking over.
This is the Spade Kingdom, and this is okay.
It's not just like, oh, we're all everything Clover King, everything go over there.
the arc to drill this into our minds. The world of Hueco Mundo is barren like the human deserts because most of the hollows...
Also, can I just say how non-analysis I consume media is? It took me forever, I mean literally this year, to realize that the kingdoms in Black Clover are based on the cards.
Oh, you didn't know that, dude?
Dude, I was...
What? Oh, no.
Until I heard, like, this is the Heart Kingdom. I went, wait, hold on. Oh, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Goodness.
Yeah, because the second one we hear about is like the Diamond Kingdom. So I'm just like, okay, Diamond, whatever.
Oh, no.
And it's not until I hear like Spade or I'm just like, wait, hold on, Spade Kingdom? What the sense there? Yeah. I just consume my media and it's either good or...
oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's either good or bad to me. Oh, that's cool. Okay, cool. It's not like, it's not cool because I analyzed it.
To our minds. The world of Hueco Mundo is barren like the human deserts because most of the hollows live underground or seek various forms of shelter and only surface if they are provoked. We know that Hueco Mundo has different areas like the Forest of the Menos and of course Aizen's base of operations, Los Noches. This realm exists between the world of the living and the Soul Society, whereas Hell is an entirely separate dimension.
Okay, it just exists there.
He goes on to say that Hueco Mundo is just the Soul Society arc repeated. He said this during the first Fall of Bleach video and now doubles down on it during this video. So let's go over each point and identify why these two arcs are separate storylines that don't have as much in common as Wolf would lead you to believe. So he says that these similar...
But he's not gonna go over the similarities that they do have.
Mm-hmm. It's not, the arc isn't just itself repeated, but it's very, very similar.
There are places that are boom, very, very similar.
It's another rescue arc, and that's just the very beginning. Mm-hmm. It's just another rescue arc.
Similarities between the Soul Society and Hueco Mundo arc are not just structural repetitions, they are the exact same story beats. From my perspective, these are purposeful similarities and not outright repetitions.
So, he's right, but he's wrong. Because it was done on purpose to mark the similarities, but it's not repetitive, because it... What?
Were made to mimic or duplicate a prior. We see this also in One Piece, which has purposeful repetitions, as the Whole Cake Island arc is similar to Annie's Lobby, and the...
I'm sorry, what? It's a rescue arc
Yeah, somebody purposely give themselves up to their crew to save their crew.
Save the crew. Yep.
But okay, here's the thing. This is what 6, 7 arcs later, as opposed to literally the next arc.
Oh, you're downplaying that. Thriller Bark, Saba Odi, Imple Down. My bad. Amazon Lily, Imple Down. Marine Ford, Return to Saba Odi. New Fishman Island. Punk Hazard, Dressrosa, Zoe, Whole Cake. It's 11 arcs later.
No, but it's the same though.
But okay, let's break it down then. The crewmate gives themselves up to do that. That is correct. They do not fight the biggest person.
Nope.
It is strictly rescue. It is
also,
not.
They need to get the poneglyph.
It's a poneglyph. It's about pirates as opposed to the world government.
They don't need to collect anything in order to get the person back. In terms of key, I mean.
The person fights Luffy to further show that they did such and such, that they're part of them. Yeah, I'm looking for similarities. The crew all arrived together. No, because they split up. Whereas all the crew arrived on the sea train. Luffy stays in one.
Showcases a new form.
Yep, 2 new forms for Whole Cake. I mean, for in its lobby. Everybody gets power upgrades. No. Yeah, I guess I gotta hear what he's saying.
He's not gonna explain.
And the Dressrosa arc has similarity to the Arabasta arc.
Oh, wait a second. First off, Arabasta,
because they're both kingdoms.
with the led by Shishibukai.
No, he was trying to take over Alabasta. That was the whole thing. It was to incite a war, so the people could get weakened.
No,
and
you're right. No.
Yeah, no. Because they both take place in the kingdom?
With a Shishibukai.
With the Shishibukai there?
Now, going back to the context of Bleach.
No, see, don't even need to explain it.
Dressrosa
is very similar to Arabasta.
He's Japanese. Or he can read the Japanese, so he's going Arabasta.
Rukia is forced to go to Soul Society.
I wonder why he's not going Breach you. Or Bleach.
That's my problem with people who are so deep into the Kuririn and the Bururuma. And it's just like, well, why don't you say Vegeta? You just say Vegeta. Why not?
His name is Krillin.
Shut up.
Just let it happen.
It's Krillin. Yeah, but when Kuririn.
Okay.
Okay, dude, calm down.
Where were you born?
Or when Purikuro shot the Makasenpo. Like, it's a special beam cannon, dude. We all know it's a special beam cannon.
His name is Piccolo.
Chill out with that crap.